In the 3rd year of the reign of Jehoiakim of Yehuda, King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon besieged Jerusalem and took treasures from the temple of Yahuwah. Among the captives brought to Babylon were noble men, including young Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. The chief eunuch Ashpenaz was ordered to teach them the Chaldean language and literature and assign them royal food and wine. Dani'el resolved not to defile himself and said to Ashpenaz, "Please test your servants for 10 days. Let us only eat vegetables and drink water. Then compare our appearance with the young men who will eat the royal food and deal with us as you see fit." After 10 days, they appeared healthier than the others. Yahuwah gave them wisdom and understanding. Dani'el also was given the ability to interpret visions and dreams. King Nebuchadnezzar had a troubling dream and summoned his magicians, astrologers, and wise men. He demanded, "I have had a dream that troubles me, and I want to know what it means." When they asked him to reveal the dream, the king declared, "If you do not tell me the dream and its interpretation, you will be torn limb from limb, and your houses will be turned into rubble. But if you tell me the dream and explain its meaning, you will receive gifts, rewards, and great honor." The wise men protested, "There is no man on earth who can do what the king demands. Only the gods, whose dwelling is not with the flesh, can reveal such things." In anger, Nebuchadnezzar ordered the execution of all wise men, including Daniel and his friends. Daniel learned of the decree. He approached the king and requested time to reveal the dream's meaning. That night, Yahuwah revealed the mystery to Daniel in a vision. Daniel, Barak Yahuwah, and Barak be the name of Yahuwah forever and ever. For Chokmah and power are his. He changes the times and seasons. He removes kings and raises up kings. He gives wisdom to the wise and knowledge to those who understand. He reveals deep and hidden things. He knows what lies in darkness, and light dwells with him. The next day, Daniel was brought before Nebuchadnezzar. The king asked, "Are you able to tell me what I saw in my dream and interpret it?" Daniel replied, "No wise man, enchanter, magician, or astrologer can explain to the king the mystery he has asked about, but there is an Elohim in Shamayim who reveals secrets. He has made known to King Nebuchadnezzar what will happen in latter days." Daniel described the king's dream. "You, O king, saw a great statue. Its head was of gold, its chest and arms of silver, its belly and thighs of bronze, its legs of iron, and its feet partly of iron and clay. A stone cut without human hands struck the statue on its feet, breaking it into pieces. The wind carried the fragments away, but the stone became a great mountain and filled the whole earth." He then interpreted the dream. "You, O king, are the head of gold. After you will arise another kingdom, inferior to yours, and then a third kingdom of bronze, which will rule the earth. A fourth kingdom, strong as iron, will crush and break all others. The feet of iron and clay represent a divided kingdom of mixed people. In the days of these kings, the Elohim of Shamayim will open up a kingdom that will never be destroyed. It will crush all the other kingdoms and endure forever." Nebuchadnezzar fell prostrate before Daniel and said, "Truly your Elohim is the Elohim of Elohim, the master of kings and the revealer of secrets." He promoted Daniel to a high position and appointed Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah to positions of authority. Nebuchadnezzar later erected a golden statue and commanded everyone to worship it. When Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah refused, the king summoned them and said, "Is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that you do not serve my gods or worship the golden image I have set up? If you do not bow down, you will immediately be thrown into a blazing furnace. Then what God will be able to rescue you from my hand?" They answered, "O Nebuchadnezzar, we do not need to defend ourselves in this matter. If it be so, our Elohim, whom we serve, is able to deliver us from the blazing furnace and from your hand. But even if he does not, let it be known, O king, that we will not serve you or your gods or bow to the image you have set up." Furious, the king ordered the furnace heated 7 times hotter. The 3 men were bound and thrown into the fire. To his astonishment, Nebuchadnezzar saw 4 men walking unharmed in the flames. He exclaimed, "Did we not throw 3 men bound into the fire? I see 4. 4 men unbound, walking in the fire, and the 4th looks like a son of Elohim." He called them out and declared, Baruch be the name of Elohim of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who sent his angel and delivered his servants who trusted in him. They defied the king's command and were willing to give up their own lives rather than serve or worship any god except their own Elohim. King Nebuchadnezzar later addressed the people. I, Nebuchadnezzar, was at my rest in my house, flourishing in my palace. I had a dream that made me afraid. I summoned the wise men to interpret it, but they could not explain it. Finally, Dani'el, whom I call Belshazzar, came before me, and I told him the dream. The king described, In my dream I saw a great tree in the midst of the earth. Its height reached the heavens, and it was visible to the ends of the earth. Its leaves were beautiful, and its fruit abundant, providing food for all. The beasts found shade under it, and the birds dwelt in its trees. But a watcher, a holy one, came down from heaven and cried aloud, Cut down the tree, strip its leaves, and scatter its fruit. Leave the stump with its roots in the earth, bound with iron and bronze, until 7 times pass over it. Nebuchadnezzar asked, O Belshazzar, because I know the spirit of the Elohim is in you, tell me the interpretation. Dani'el, distressed, responded, My master, may the dream concern your enemies and its interpretation your adversaries. The tree represents you, O king. You have grown strong and your greatness reaches to the Shemayim, but the decree of the Most High is this. You will be driven from men, and your dwelling will be with the beasts of the field. You will eat grass like oxen, and 7 times will pass over you until you acknowledge that the Most High rules in the kingdom of men and gives it to whom he will. However, the stump and roots mean your kingdom will be restored to you when you acknowledge that Yahuwah is sovereign. Dani'el advised, Therefore, O king, let my counsel be acceptable to you. Break off your sins by practicing righteousness and your iniquities by showing mercy to the poor. Perhaps your prosperity will be prolonged. A year later, as Nebuchadnezzar boasted of his power, a voice from heaven declared, O King Nebuchadnezzar, the kingdom has departed from you. The prophecy was fulfilled, and Nebuchadnezzar lived as a beast for 7 years. When his reason returned, he praised Yahuwah, saying, I barak the Most High, and praise and honor him who lives forever. His dominion is everlasting, and his kingdom endures from generation to generation. All the inhabitants of the earth are as nothing before him. He does according to his will among the hosts of heaven and the inhabitants of the earth. During the reign of Belshazzar, a feast was held using sacred vessels taken from Yahuwah's temple. As they drank and praised their idols, a hand appeared and wrote on the wall. The terrified king called for his wise men to interpret the writing, but they could not. The queen advised, O king, there is a man in your kingdom in whom the spirit of Elohim is dwelling. In the days of your father, light and understanding and wisdom were found in him. Call Dani'el, and he will explain. Dani'el was brought before the king, who said, Are you Dani'el, one of the captives from Yehuda? I have heard that the spirit of Elohim is in you. If you can read the writing and explain its meaning, you shall be clothed in purple, have a chain of gold around your neck, and be third in the kingdom. Dani'el replied, Let your gifts be for yourself, and give your rewards to another. Nevertheless, I will read the writing for the king and make known its interpretation. O king, the Most High Elohim gave your father Nebuchadnezzar a kingdom, majesty, glory, and honor. But when his heart was lifted up, he was deposed until he acknowledged that Yahuwah rules. Yet you, Belshazzar, have not humbled your heart, though you knew all this. You have lifted yourself against Yahuwah by using his vessels and praising idols. Dani'el explained the writing, Mene, Yahuwah has numbered your kingdom and finished it. Tekel, you have been weighed in the balances and found lacking. Upharsin, your kingdom is divided and given to the Medes and Persians. Pause. Could this be what Yahushua HaMashiach wrote on the ground when the woman who was caught in the act of adultery was surrounded by her accusers? Mene, Mene, Tekel, Upharsin. When they judged from their own pride, and in doing so, they judged themselves. The accusers dropped their stones, maybe realizing the implications of their judgment. Heavy is the head who wears the crown, and there be but one. That night, Belshazzar was killed. and Dariavish the Mede took the kingdom. Under Dariavish, Dani'el was promoted, causing jealousy among the officials. They conspired against him, persuading the king to issue a decree forbidding prayer to anyone but the king. When Dani'el continued praying to Yahweh, they reported him. Dariavish, distressed, tried to save Dani'el, but could not revoke the law. Dani'el was thrown into the lion's den, and the king said, "May your Elohim, whom you serve continually, deliver you." The next morning, Dariavish cried out, "O Dani'el, servant of the living Elohim, has your Elohim been able to deliver you from the lions?" Dani'el replied, "My Elohim sent his angel and shut the lion's mouth. They have not harmed me, because I was found innocent before him. And also before you, O king, I have done no wrong." The king rejoiced and issued a decree. He is the living Elohim, enduring forever. His kingdom shall not be destroyed, and his dominion shall be to the end. He delivers and rescues. He works signs and wonders in Shemayim and on earth.